I honestly think this is one of the most important things that I have talked about, ever. I mean, seriously, genuinely, no drama. Because I feel like once you start to understand this, you start to see your life from a completely different perspective. You start to understand why the same things keep repeating. You start to understand why some things feel impossible to you even though others are doing it with ease. Why you want something so badly but you just keep ending up in the same spot over and over again. And it all comes down to one thing, and that is your beliefs. Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Alina, and on this channel we learn to become unbothered. So if that is something that you're looking for, make sure to like and subscribe to support your girl and so we can do this together. So what are beliefs? Beliefs are things that you believe about yourself, about relationships, about money, about life, about friendships, about careers, and most importantly, about what's possible for you. Whether people realize this or not, our beliefs build our reality. Just think about it for a second. A belief is something you basically just accepted as the truth. Something that at some point you believed in so deeply that it has become the core. It stopped feeling like an opinion and it started being a fact. And then you started living through it without even noticing. Nothing in life actually has a meaning on its own. Situations happen, people do things, money exists, relationships exist, failure exists, success exists, and none of it automatically is good or bad. The meaning comes from you, from your interpretation, from your perspective. You give the thing the meaning. Two people can go through the exact same situation and walk away with two completely different realities. One person gets rejected and thinks, okay, maybe that's just not for me. And the other one gets rejected and is like, what is wrong with me? I'm doing something wrong. I can't handle this. I'm just not good enough. Same situation, completely different belief. Completely different outcome. And that is why beliefs matter so much, because they are conclusions, little rules you created about life that can either support you or quietly destroy you. And most people never even stop to think about where those beliefs are coming from. They just assume, this is me, this is who I am, this is life, this is how it's supposed to be. There is no other way. But reality is honestly way more shaped by your beliefs than you realize. And there are beliefs that support you, and there are beliefs that limit you. Supportive beliefs sound like, I'm capable, I'll figure it out, I can do this, I'm smart enough, I can be successful, I deserve good things. And limiting beliefs sound like, money is hard, love never works, I'm too late, it's not gonna work out, I'm not enough, people like me don't get to live that kind of life. And the scariest thing is that most people don't even realize that these thoughts are just beliefs and they think that they're facts. And then they're just living according to those facts that they made up in their own head. Now imagine this. And there's another version of you. Somewhere ahead, the life that you want, the money, the success, the relationship, the freedom, the confidence, the body, the career, whatever that thing is for you. Now everyone thinks that to get there, you need motivation. But I don't think motivation is what matters so much. Because if deep down you don't believe that it's for you, you're not even gonna keep going long enough to find out. You're gonna stop yourself, you're gonna procrastinate, you're gonna self-sabotage, you're gonna put things away, you're gonna delay things. You'll quit halfway and you'll convince yourself that it just isn't meant for you. And this is why beliefs literally decide direction. Because life gets hard, you get tired, you lose momentum, things go wrong, you doubt yourself. And in those moments, your beliefs become very, very loud. And they either support you or they pull you backwards. Some of those beliefs actually started off as protection. So they were supportive supportive at first, but then they became limiting beliefs. For example, don't stand out, don't be too visible, be quiet, play safe, and so on. For a lot of people, this didn't just come out of nowhere. It came from survival. Because at some point in your life, or your parents' life, or your grandparents' life, being visible was not safe. Having too much wasn't safe. Being noticed wasn't safe. And people learned to survive by staying small. And beliefs passed down. Fears passed down by family, and suddenly you grow up believing in things that were not even yours to begin with. And maybe at some point those beliefs made sense, but now they don't. Because what once protected you may now be keeping you stuck. And I think this explains why some people move through life very, very differently. Because some people grew up hearing supportive things. They grew up hearing, go for it, you can do this, you're so smart, you'll figure it out, you deserve more, you deserve better. While others grew up hearing, be realistic, don't expect too much, money doesn't come easy, people like us struggle, don't embarrass yourself. And eventually these voices become your inner voice. You stop hearing it as society and you just start hearing it as yourself, and you think it's the truth. And it doesn't even take much for a belief to form. Just a few situations is more than enough. A few repeated experiences, a few emotional moments, and your brain decides, okay, this must be true. This is who I am. This is how life works. And then you carry around that belief for years. Beliefs usually come from three places, and the first is culture. Basically the world around you. What society teaches you. What's normal. What age you should have things figured out. What success looks like. What beauty looks like. What love looks like. What relationships should look like. What's acceptable and what's not. And it changes depending on where you are. In some countries, 30 might be too late, whereas in other countries, 30 is still young. In one culture, something is normal. In another, it's shocking, which already proves something super important, and that is conditioning. A lot of what we believe in is just conditioning. The second place beliefs come from is family. Things passed down, things repeated so many times that you just absorbed them. What your parents believed, what your grandparents believed, their pains, fears, struggles, and stories. Maybe someone in your family struggles financially and now money feels very stressful for you. Maybe someone had a terrible relationship or a divorce and now you believe that love is hard to find or relationships are difficult to be in. Maybe love feels unsafe to you and nobody even explained it to you directly, because as a child you are not able to analyze information. You just absorb it. And the third place beliefs come from is personal experience. And this is where the deepest ones usually live. Because kids don't think logically, kids think emotionally. For example, if a parent is ignoring the child doesn't think, oh, they're stressed, they're tired, they had a bad day, they'll come back to me later. A child thinks, something is wrong with me. I'm not lovable, I'm annoying, or I'm not important even. Parents are like gods to the kids, and the kids don't question their parents. They question themselves. And then they grow up carrying around those beliefs, and they become adults that feel rejected, that don't feel loved, that don't feel important, that are insecure, and so on. Constantly feeling rejected, constantly feeling like they're not enough, constantly chasing validation without even realizing where it's coming from. Or maybe someone betrayed you once. You trusted them and they hurt you, and your brain creates a rule that people can't be trusted. And now without even realizing it, you move through life expecting betrayal. And then you attract situations that confirm it. Because this is something really important, and that is that you will always find proof for what you believe in. Always. If you believe that people leave, you will notice everyone that leaves. If you believe that you're not attractive enough, you're going to notice every single one of your insecurities. If you believe that you are behind in life, you're going to be constantly comparing yourself to others. Because your brain likes confirmation. It likes to be right. And this is why beliefs are so hard to change. Because they don't just live in thoughts. They live in your nervous system. They live in emotional memory in your body, especially the beliefs that come from painful experiences. Because when something emotional happens, your body remembers, and sometimes your nervous system doesn't fully process it. So it stores it, and your mind creates meaning around it. And then unconsciously, you create similar situations. And you think, how do I always end up here? Why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep attracting these same people or situations? Because to your brain, familiar feels safe. And this is one of the hardest truths, and that is that your brain is not built for growth. Your brain is built for survival. And survival prefers familiar, and even if it's toxic. Familiar means I survived this before, so I can survive it again. And that's why change feels scary. It's not wrong or dangerous, it's just unfamiliar. And unfamiliar automatically feels unsafe. This is why people stay in relationships that they hate, in jobs that they hate, in towns that they hate, in versions of themselves that they grew out years ago. Because staying the same feels safer than trying something new, safer than becoming someone new. And it creates this weird internal conflict where you want change, you want success, you want freedom, you want to be someone, but there's that one part of you that is just like, stay where you are, don't risk it, let's keep things just the way that they are, we know how this works already, let's just be calm, okay, let's chill for a moment. Don't risk, don't fail, don't embarrass yourself. And honestly, almost everyone lives in that conflict. Why are we still like this? Why do we fear change? Beliefs are so hard to change because they feel personal. They feel like identity. And admitting something that you believed in your whole life can be kind of uncomfortable, because then you start questioning everything else. If that wasn't true, what else isn't? And it feels destabilizing. Beliefs become a part of who you think you are. And the brain doesn't like identity shifts, it likes consistency. It likes the same, because again, same is familiar. And also your brain is lazy and it wants shortcuts. It wants a faster way. It wants certainty. If something feels too complex or unfamiliar, your brain can just reject it. And you might have even experienced this firsthand when someone is telling you something new and it's just like, what? No, that can't be. That's your first reaction. No. That's not true. Because understanding takes energy. Changing takes energy. And your brain is trying to save that energy. You didn't come into this world limited. As a child, you just wanted things. You reached for things. You explored. You created. You believed things were possible. You didn't think, am I qualified enough? Am I good enough? What if people judge me? What if this or what if that? No, you just existed. And then slowly life gave you rules. Parents, school, society, comparison, fear, rejection. And your world got smaller and smaller. And it's not because you became less capable. It's because you learned limits. And people forget how powerful they actually are when it comes to creating a life that you actually want. They don't believe that they can create money, freedom, success, or a different identity. But humans are creators, and we were put on this planet to create. You create your reality every single day, whether you realize it or not. The question is, where are you creating from? Because whatever you believe in becomes your ceiling. If you believe your life can only go so far, it probably will. If you believe you can expand, grow, and be bigger and better and more, you'll get there because you'll move differently. Beliefs shape possibility, personality, reality, and people who don't quit will eventually get somewhere. Because consistency matters more than talent, and people usually quit because life interrupts them again. Things happen, hard things happen, people get sick, stress happens, you lose momentum, you fall into fear, and then the limiting beliefs get loud. This isn't for me, I can't do this, I should probably stop. But supportive beliefs keep you moving. And here's something really interesting, and that is if something that I'm saying is annoying you or creating resistance, if you immediately feel like, no, I don't agree with that, pay attention, because that reaction matters. That reaction is probably pointing somewhere. And sometimes that's exactly where a limiting belief lives. And here's how you find it. Ask yourself, what do I want and I still do not have? Money, love, confidence, success, the dream body, a relationship, a business, whatever it is, write it down. And then ask yourself, why don't I have it yet? And that is your limiting belief. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. It's too late. I don't have discipline. People like me don't get stuff like that. It's not for me. That's a limiting belief. That is what is stopping you. Look at it. Really look at it and ask yourself, is this actually true? Or is this just something I learned? Because the second your relationship to a belief changes, the belief starts to lose its power. And then you replace it, and then you look for proof of your new belief. Just a few situations, just a few pieces of evidence to prove it, to support the new belief. Because repetition creates identity. If you used to believe that you're not capable, start collecting proof that you are. Small moments count. Don't ignore them. Write them down. Keep them somewhere. Because confidence comes from evidence. People think that there's this huge gap between where they are and the first step. But the truth is, this is it. This is your first step. You're already here. There's no waiting period. There is no more time to prepare. You don't need to figure things out or become steady. Here it is, right here, right now. There is no gap. You being here already counts. And when something clicks for you, when you learn something new, when something actually lands, you have a small window where that energy is very fresh before your brain goes back into autopilot. And this is where action matters. Because information means nothing without movement. And your first step doesn't need to be huge. It just needs to be. It just needs to exist. So start somewhere, even small, even badly. Just start and you will get there. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know in the comments below which limiting belief you are about to crush. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support your girl, and I will see you next Friday. Bye.